Hello. In this clip from our Fundamentals on Citation and Link Building for SEO webinar, we will talk about how links are valued based on the quality of the sites they are located on and the importance of links within legal sites and legal pages. If you want to see more Justia videos on law practice and legal marketing, be sure to subscribe to our channel.
Now let's go into link value. This will probably be a little bit more interesting on the SEO part. First thing, this is basic stuff, sort of covered already. Trusted high quality sites, right? Google's going to rank trusted high quality sites more than, I don't know, untrusted low quality sites. Kind of makes sense, right? Like the blue is going to be bigger than the red, it's bigger than the green, and all, the yellow's even bigger than all of them. So links from higher value trusted sites are more valuable to you. And again, we showed the example here from the New York Times story to one of our pages. There are some high trusted sites, high value trusted sites, where the pages themselves, though, aren't always quite as trusted. And those are when you have different profiles or sort of a combination of user-generated content along with editorial content in there. So, Angel List is a pretty well-known site out here. I see a lot of like non-angels now having profiles on Angel List. It seems to be a lot of people producing pages there. But it's a value. Even here, the links have no files on them, but they might be a value there. But Google might look at the profiles, but probably not value them quite as much as an editorial article or the main page itself. But it's there's something there. It's a trusted site, but it's a user-generated one. And then there's sort of a combination user-generated plus editorial, something like Crunchbase. And that Google's more likely to give additional value to, just because there is this editorial layer that sits on top of it. Wikipedia would be a similar example outside the business sphere. So the best, from a trusted site are ones actually written by the writers, right? From their previous one about writing, who's the writer, is one of the measurements in terms of the value of a page of content, also the value of a link. But if it's a little bit self-generated or self-generated with editorial that sits on top of it, there can still be some value there. So there are some places that you might look at, and we'll cover this a lot more when we start going through SEMrush and some of these other tools in the second half of the second webinar about this part. But there are some places here that you might be able to get some profiles up. Ideally, you're also participating in the communities, right? That's helpful. So you're actually tied into the communities. You're doing some investments or whatever else Angel List is involved with. Okay, trusted high quality sites, those are really good. But from your standpoint, from a lawyer standpoint, legal sites, I'd rather have a slightly less trusted, always trusted because it's legal, slightly less valuable legal website than a highly trusted non-legal website. So here's an example of, actually both. It's the Harvard Law School blog. They linked over to us, and here's one of Bob Ambrosi's Law Next site that he also linked over to one of our pages. But for you guys, getting onto legal websites in particular are a much more valuable in terms of page rank passing from Google than getting something which is a high value site that has nothing to do with law. So you should really be focused in on legal sites to the extent you can. So they're just much more valuable. Google ties in these little sort of spears and looking at how sites related. So something that's talking about auto parts might be a great site, but it's not going to be nearly as valuable to you as a site that's really focused on law, and ideally even your own area of law. You're doing criminal law, on a criminal law site. The other part, if you can't get into a general sort of a focused legal site, at least try to get into the legal section of a more general trusted site. So here's like a Library of Congress one on Justia, and here's sort of a general Harvard libraries thing, also link over to Justia. So these are both, solid sites, but they cover lots of stuff, not just law. It covers medicine, it covers all types of things. But we're in the legal section. So just in general, if you look at the trusted high quality sites, for the most part, if you just want a basic rule of thumb, academic sites tend to be higher trusted than others. Government sites tend to be higher, more trusted from that standpoint. And certain, legal sites, certainly Justia is well trusted. There's other sort of some legal portals that have a lot of trust built up by putting up content and keeping things up to date, because just the higher quality editorial work that's done on it. So those are good places to be. But even if you have to be on a slightly lower quality site, that's okay if it's legally focused, or at least the legal page of it. So these are places you should certainly look at, and again, we can go through it. And if you have resources that be valuable to people, you should certainly submit your site to them. From the law firm standpoint, let me just give a couple or a bunch of legal sites you should take a look at. So we've got a list of free lawyer and law firm directories that you should go out, and you should certainly claim your free profiles, either for your all your lawyers or for your firm. If you're claiming on Justia, right? Justia also distributes out our data to Legal Information Institute and OIA and a couple other places. But this is a good list of different sites that you should try to get profiles on. And you should do the free ones. You should not have to pay for a link. So you should try to get the free profiles with a link coming back to you. I would be a little bit less concerned whether there's follows or no follows on them. So even something, even no follow, if it's free, I think there will be some value on that part. But you should go through here and look at our list and sort of get linked up on these different directories. You might have to claim your profile. It's a little bit of work, but this is like bread and butter stuff that you need to do that'll get you, 70, 80% of the way there in terms of your link building. These are all legitimate sites. Other folks that have it, Rankings.io has some stuff. Mockingbird has some stuff. Comrade Sam has some. Attorney Sync has some list of different directories. You can look at different ones. They might have slightly different lists than we do. We focused on the ones that we thought really had the value, but there's a lot of people who put together these lists. So feel free to take a look at it. The main thing here, though, is that you should not be paying for these links. These should be free. If you have to pay, there's not going to be value there. They should be rel sponsored, even if they don't put it there. That's not good. So go there, claim the free ones, and have the free. And again, put it back to probably most cases to your homepage, or if you have many attorneys, you can take it to the attorney profile pages. This is just something to note about lawyer directories. This is our directory. So here we have some sponsored ones. Here's the organic results on our lawyer directory. And here's a profile on our lawyer directory. I will say this is true with us. This is true with almost all the lawyer directories, as well as most of the business directories. If you fill your profile out more, you will show up higher, right, in the organic results. And if you show up higher in the organic results, often you'll be on the first page. You might get a little more value from a listing page. You might get a little more value from your link. So, claiming a profile, getting a link off a site, that's one thing. But if you want to do a little bit better from a pure linking standpoint, you should really fill out your profiles, not just on Justia, but on everyone. I mean, Avo used to give you a higher ranking when you filled it out more, right? So this is something you should think about and go through and really go through the different profiles and different lawyer directories and try to fill them out. Ideally, if you're trying to do a little bit of reputation control and you want all these different pages to rank, all the different directories to rank, you should have different text on each of them. If it's the exact same text, Google will tend to rank one, but not the others in the organic rankings. But that's more for reputational control. But just for showing up higher in these different directories, you should definitely fill out your profile. Certainly that's true on Justia. We focus on the locality, but there's a weight based on how much you filled out your profile. To be able to think, it'll tell you you're 80%, 90%. You'll see a little note when you log in. And it's free. I mean, it's no brainer. So lawyer directories is one set. The other set is business directories. You should all do the business directories. A lot of these will have no files, but again, you should do them anyways. Most folks, you can go to every business directory out there and claim your individual profile and fill it out. And that's doable. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. Or you could use a service like Yext, and Yext will take your data and it'll fill it up across all the different directories that it has access to. If you go into Yext, you'll actually see that for some directories, you can select different practice areas that are particular to a particular directory. So everyone might have law, some might have criminal law, some might have DUI, all right? Some might have federal crimes. So you need to sort of go into Yext a bit and try to fine tune it on the directory side, but it's pretty good. It'll push it out to all these different ones. The only downside of Yext is they tend to take the same descriptive text and they put in all it's repetitive descriptive text. So you don't have quite as much modification there. It repeats the data a lot, but it's simple to use. And I know that they say that, if you don't renew with us, some of the folks will remove your listing and they'll put up the old listing with bad data. That's all right. That's possible, but I don't think Google values directories that put up bad data. So the main ones, you do it once and you're pretty much there for the most part. Every once in a while they'll add new ones. The one thing I would say with Yext and all these different ones I'm about to show you is that you use the same name for your law firm that you're using on your Google business profile, and you use the same address, same format for the address, and the same phone number. Name, address, phone number, NAP, right? Need to match. That's just basic citation stuff that you need to do here. I'm talking a little bit more for the URL because you're gonna get a link back to your website as well. But you should also, if you want to do better on Google Business Profile, which we're going to cover a lot more in the next webinar, you got to make sure this stuff matches up right. So don't, if you spanned up your Google Business Profile, you better figure out how that's going to work out with these other ones, because you really want that consistency there. So that's something to think about. But Yext it's good. It's not too expensive, and a lot of the other us, a lot of service providers provide this type of service. Next one is Whitespark. Whitespark, they actually are going to go in, log in, and give you individual logins to each of them, which is nice because then you can actually go and modify the text for each of the profiles and actually get them a little bit more unique and get them to rank higher. Or, if it's a Spanish directory, put the text in Spanish, right? Make things like that. So Yext is a little bit higher level. They charge you a one-time fee for claiming these profiles and updating them, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more control over it. And now just list a couple others. There's Bright Local. Again, similar to Yext in many ways. And Moz, they also do stuff with some of the larger big database providers, Newstar, Info Group, some of those. So they're all pretty good. To me, normally Yext at the base level, if you just need something, they've done a pretty good job of getting things moving along. And then Whitespark, if you need to fine tune stuff a little bit more. But the others are fine as well. So we've had folks that have used all of them. They've been quite successful on all of them. The main thing for you as a law firm is you should be doing one of these, right? You should do it. And you could just sign up for it. It's not too difficult to do. Let me just show you one example here from yellowpages.com. This sort of ties in. Here we got some paid listings. Go down a little bit. Here we got this organic listing here, sort of on page 2, but it's the first organic one. And he shows up higher because he filled out his profile. That's why he's showing up higher organically, which again, something to think about on business directory, right? And right here is his link, and they're actually using his domain name for his link, where here the link text would actually be whatever the domain name is. So it sort of shows two different things here they want to show. But again, you can use these other services to update these. Some of them you might want to go update individually if you feel strong about them, right? Or if they rank high for your name, you might want to add a little bit of extra work on those. So business directory is sort of very key.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more law practice and legal marketing videos. See you in our next clip.